So when it comes to Dragonlord, for Dragonlord, you need to get the Dragon Amulet account linked to your AQWorlds account in order to get the class. Okay, for starters, when it comes to this class is primarily focused around farming. And trust me, don't use it anywhere else. Unless you have a Frostfall Barbarian just at your disposal. Because this class has mana problems. You can use Dauntless with this class to help for farming. And you can use it for other places as well, but the class does not offer anything for support, so I wouldn't recommend for team fights. When it comes to PvP, it's ass. When it comes to other parts of the game, I would say try to keep your buffs up from your 2 and your 4th ability. Try to avoid using your 3 because that is your safe skill that keeps your mana and health up. But if you do use it, just note that your 2nd ability and your 4th ability, your abilities will not be giving you any damage buffs, so your damage will fall drastically. Okay, so when it comes to your 1st ability, you need to play around with your mana. The lower your mana is, the more damage you do. And you kind of have to slow down with this class because it hits hard, the skills hits hard, but when it comes to actually nuking, it doesn't do that well because you need to play around with your mana. The 1st ability is kind of unique because you kind of need to use it in a way to nuke on the last 3 seconds of the skill. That's when you actually do the bigger damage of this class. Now, you can play around with the debuffs, but the debuffs doesn't offer that much in the sense of being useful in fights. Now, you can use it for multi-target for bosses, but honestly, when it comes to that part of the game, you would rather use other classes that be beneficial for the room. And I tried with the God of the Depths. I ran the mana problems and I just could not keep up with the damage. It did a lot of damage in some parts of the boss, but I still ran into mana problems and couldn't output that much as I wanted to be. So if you want to use this class, I would say go for farming. It is really fun. It is not that much, like I say, setup. Or there's some setup, but it's not really like I can't invoke you. I kind of have to wait like a minute just to set up, or some finicky combo to do. So you can use this class for farming. I would not recommend doing hard hitting mobs because this class does suffer for one shots and stuff like that. When it comes to Dauntless, just be careful. Your healing will be quite bad. Yeah, when it comes to solo, yeah, this is not good. Trust me, I tried. This class doesn't have any parts of sustain. When it comes to using your 3rd ability, the cooldown's too long, and you still lose the duration when they actually try to be maintainable. So when it comes to PvP, I don't know. Who still PvPs in this game? Honestly, who does? Okay, this class doesn't do well in PvP. It doesn't have proper sustain, and it doesn't have any type of resistance for keeping it alive or viable. Okay, so when it comes to the classic version of Dragonlord, for starters, this class has more simple and more easy to use, no more problems, but this class for some reason deals a lot more damage. And also this class is a little bit kind of finicky. I was not running into mana problems, even though I was using Forge. I wasn't using anything fancy like that would influence my mana sustain. I was using Anima, which doesn't give me any mana cost reductions and stuff like that. And the mana cost on this class is quite high. So, and I just didn't see any mana drop at all. This class does hit hard on its auto, the skills not so much. Pretty much you can use this class for for fun. I would not recommend it for solo because it doesn't have any sustain for whatsoever. You can use this class for farming. It has some multi-target, but not as much as the Dragonlord counterpart. For the Dragonlord counterpart, you have like 3 targets for per skill. This one only has 2 on its first ability and the fourth ability, so which is your 2 and your first ability. You can use Honor and you can use Vainglory for this class. Even though it does have the same stat model, it doesn't run into mana problems. It has a heal on its fourth ability, so you will not have any trouble of healing. It is a little bit slower because this is a power caster, not power caster, power melee. Sorry. Same for the normal counterpart, but the normal counterpart still runs into mana problems, which this class for some reason doesn't have any mana problems at all. This part also has some debuffs, but it only has like extra damage resistance debuff from the target, so somewhat viable, but not that much. I used this class for God of the Depths just to see how well it did. It actually did decently, but I wasn't sure it was actually Ravenous actually doing most of the damage or this class actually doing that much damage. But overall, I do see this class being more viable for bosses because actually the damage is quite decent and you don't run into mana problems compared to the Dragonlord counterpart. So when it actually comes to farming, this class goes crazier. Now, just note that this class doesn't have any damage resistance spells, so you kind of have to keep your health up with Dauntless and your fourth ability if you want to keep it alive. Now, the first ability is a nuke based on your mana, but this class does have mana problems. And I use Honor, and I still didn't have any mana problems, so I think this class is bugged. Not sure, but yeah, this class is fun. Not as fun as Dragonlord because Dragonlord has some gimmicks that are a little bit makes it more interesting. Don't solo with this class, it doesn't have any resistance. It has sustain, but not that much. You can play around with it, but it's not a very viable. Nah, trust me. When it comes to PvP, yeah, you get one shot easily. I tried it multiple tries with my other account. It was horrendous. It was fun in some parts because if you want to use it for the non-OP PvP. So yeah, I hope you have a nice day.